What's up, everyone? Nate here, and I'm back with another Out of the Theater review. Now, today I went to check out the latest from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Chris Evans. It is called Red One. This is, of course, a Christmas action movie, I guess. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it. Before I do, if you would, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already, and hit the thumbs up to leave me a like as well. Leave me a comment. Is this something you want to see? You don't want to see it? You interested? You're not interested? I'm going to give you my spoiler-free thoughts, of course. All right, so this is directed by Jake Kasdan, who has worked with Dwayne Johnson in the Jumanji, like the reboot movies, which I like the first one. The second one, I don't really, I know I saw it. I don't really remember it that much, but I thought the first one was okay. And this is written by Chris Morgan, who has written a bunch of the Fast and Furious movies. So I know he left as the writer, I want to say maybe around 8. I think he may have wrote up till 7, or I don't know. I know he wrote quite a few of them. Yeah, this movie has a pretty good cast. Like I said, Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans. Also, Lucy Liu is in this. J.K. Simmons, Kiernan Shipka. And it basically follows Chris Evans. He is someone who's very, even as a young kid, skeptical about Santa Claus. And he is like a hacker, tracker, guy who could find stuff for people who need them to be found, technology, all that kind of stuff. And essentially, the villain kidnaps Santa Claus. Dwayne Johnson, he's the head of like the security for, this is all very convoluted. Now that I'm explaining this sounds ridiculous, but he is like the head of security for Santa Claus. They're called the ELF. That's funny, I guess, elf. But yeah, the ELF, and they bring in Chris Evans to help track down Santa Claus. And adventures ensue. I thought this movie was, I don't know what I thought about it. Honestly, I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was like a terrible movie. I've seen worse. I've also seen better. It was just sort of okay. The weird thing about it is that the tone is kind of weird, because this could have very well been a good, solid fantasy Christmas action movie for families, okay? And I think that could have worked. Could have kept it PG-13 because there was like a lot of action, like I said, and melting snowmen, and there's violence, there's fighting, punching. It's all very over the top, though. It's all very over the top. However, there's also like a lot of cursing in it, and there's a scene on the beach where a lot of the ladies are wearing very small bikinis, and then I'm like, okay, well, would I bring like a little kid to this? I don't know. So it's in that gray area, which I think is really bad a lot of times for movies, where it's too kiddie for adults, but it's a little too grown up for kids. So I guess maybe the target demo would be teenagers. And I just don't see teenagers necessarily flocking to this movie. I don't think The Rock, I love Dwayne Johnson. I like a lot of his movies, but I think him and Chris Evans don't really have a lot of chemistry together. And that's unfortunate. Chris Evans is good in this. I think The Rock is fine in it, but I just don't think they have a lot of chemistry together. So when they're on the screen, like they're doing their thing, you don't really feel anything either way. I will say I liked a lot of the ideas here. Some of the makeup is really good. Like Krampus shows up in this. I love the whole scene in where he's from. I like the villain. I like the premise of the villain. It goes into like a lot of lore and German lore and Nordic kind of Christmas lore, and I think all that stuff is cool. I really don't mind it. So I think the plot is okay. I just think tonally it didn't really know what it was trying to do. So, like I said, a little too grown up for kids and a little too juvenile for adults. And you're just left with this sort of blob of mildly entertaining Christmas stuff. Also, I wish it was a little more Christmassy. Like I said, they go to the beach at one point. I'm like, nothing screams Christmas like people in bikinis on a beach, but whatever. I just wish they leaned into it more. Even when they're in like the city and stuff, it's supposed to be Christmas Eve. It does not really feel like Christmas or look like Christmas. So I don't know. I thought it was fine. It's a little long, 2 hours. Probably could have been about an hour 45. I think it would have been better. As such, I did not hate it. I did laugh at a few parts. A couple parts made me chuckle. Again, I thought the plot was pretty good. I think it's a little confusing as far as who this is for and what they were trying to really say. Because there's a little sentimentality at the end, but throughout the rest of the movie, there's not. And I don't know. It was okay. This is not going to be some new Christmas classic, probably. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5. I think it's okay, right? Middle of the road, 5 out of 10. See it or don't. I don't know. Could do better. You could do worse. So I will be back next week with another Out of the Theater review. I will be reviewing Gladiator 2. So until then, take it easy.